Hello, good morning. How are you guys doing this today morning? I'm all set with my this watercolor mandala which we just left last Saturday at this level, and probably will finish it today. I'm very excited for it. And sorry. And I was looking at our Discord patrons. So Monica, you showed me this picture. This is pretty good. The colors are pretty much similar, as you can see. And when you are going to make the pattern over it, I'm sure it will look very nice. And awesome, Avajra, you are trying so pretty, so well. I'm so happy you are excited with your dotting tools and you are trying well. Ananya, this is awesome. And I'm so happy to see all of your work. Keep submitting your work like that. I'm so happy. Wow, Ananya. And yeah, so let's start our working now. And there is nothing else. Awesome. So before we start, I really want to say thank you again one more time to Linda, as you see, because today is our mandala session and she helped me learning this 3D wooden pattern. As you can see, I drew this one on the paper and then we turned it on the wooden panel like that. This is a laser cut. So a huge shout out to Linda one more time, because this is a mandala session, so I can't leave her. And yay, let's start. So before we start, please, we are going to draw two or more few. After the watercolor paper looks kind of folded and it was stiff. Yeah, so watercolor paper looks little stiff, so keep it in the center of any thick drawing pad or any thick book or something like that, and so it will make it flat. Because it's well dried, you can easily keep it. So we are going to draw a circle at a 6 centimeter. So please measure 6 centimeter in your compass, and we are going to draw very light circle here, very light, because eventually we are going to erase the circle, as you know. So draw very light one circle, and then I'm getting it to 7.5 centimeters. So one circle is at 6 So 7.5, I'm not drawing the whole circle. You see, last time we drew these markings at every 20-degree angle. So I'm just cutting these markings. So we need not to erase the whole circle because we just got the markings what we actually need. I hope that makes sense to all of you. Did I use too much of water, Lavanya? So first round is at 6 centimeter, and Lavanya, where can I see your paper? So no, you are talking about the crimpled. Yes, if it is kind of folded, then that might be the reason that you have used too much of the water. You are right, but it's okay, we are learning. So when you just keep it flat, it will be flat. I'm waiting for you. So Diksha, first round is at 6 centimeter, then second markings, just the markings at 7.5 centimeters. Okay, Mahi? So first round is at 6 centimeters. If you can please write down in the chat. First circle is at 6 centimeter. Second markings is at 7.5 centimeters. I hope that makes sense to you guys. And now the third marking. So for the third marking, what I would like you to, if you can grab your, let's first draw the dots, then it would be easier. So then we are done with the marking, we are just left with the drawing. If you put your compass, you will see your all markings at the 20 degrees, right? At that time here. So just with an idea, with every 10 centimeter here, I'm just getting in the center of it. Okay, we are going to draw the circles later. We don't want the whole circle, we don't want the whole line, so we are just getting we are just going by an eye. That is how we can keep our work neat and clean. So the third marking will be at the 9 centimeters, and then we are done with the marking. Can you do the 7.5 markings again? So you see, Julia, it is 7.5 as of now, as you can see. My, if you see on the white paper here, so my, this compass is at 7.5 distance, like that. And after this 7.5, I made marking on those 20 degree angles which we draw. I didn't draw the whole circle, I just put the line over the marking. So in that way, I need not to erase the rest of the line. So I saved all those erasings. And after the 7.5, next marking will be at the 9 centimeters. So now I'm taking it at the 9 centimeters like that. So now as you can see, it is at the 9 centimeters. Perfect, right? So the markings which we draw at the 10 centimeter center, right? So just here in the middle of it. Again, we just got the marking, so we need not to erase all the circles. That is my trick. I don't know if you are liking this trick, easy or tough. I really like this trick that saves erasing a lot. I did 3 markings. I'm repeating one more time. I did one circle at the 6 centimeters and then marking at the 7.5, marking at the 9 centimeter. If you find it tough, you can just make 3 circles, that's fine, and you can erase it later lightly, okay? Don't worry. And now it's the time for the drawing. I'm grabbing my pen. I hope everyone is caught up till here after 7. So next marking is Sabita. This is 9 centimeters. If you see from the center, it is 9 centimeters here. Next marking is at the 9 centimeters. If you see here, so the next we are going to start from the center on the top of it, and it will go 2 centimeters from here. It will go, yes. So now on the top of these our lines here, we are going to join. Because we didn't do a lot of markings in this one, we want to save the space. So it's okay if your mandala is not absolutely the same size as mine, because a lot of time, like when you just go by an eye, it might be not as similar as absolutely same, but they are kind of the similar, so it's absolutely fine. So this is our first layer. Hey Ashvi, happy birthday! Yay! Wish you a very, very happy birthday. Have fun, enjoy. Tell me how you're celebrating your birthday at home. And yes, after this, okay, so I did little change in mine. That's what I'm thinking. What am I doing? And I now did it. It's okay. So now in this third one here, we are going to go all the way here. And guys, I did little change in mine, this thing, okay? I'm just thinking how to fix that thing which I just did. It will look nice like this way. So what I did here, I was supposed to draw in one, I was supposed to leave one, you see, and I drew in all the one in this pattern, but this pattern will also look nice. I made this design another one, and that was in my mind, which I was working at home, so it's okay. We are going to now leave one and draw one, okay, in this one. This pattern will also look very nice. So like we are going to draw this half circle here, and then we are going to join it here. That is what the meaning of mandala, whatever is coming to your mind, right? And that is why these live sessions are so important, because making mistake is like just the normal thing, but when you do live, so then you know that if you make mistake, then how you can like kind of fix it or make that mistake part of your artwork, right? Because when you see the edited video version, then you can't understand those things, because generally we added all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's fun. Yeah, so now we are done with our this basic pattern here, and as we have changed it little bit, so I'm making one more layer on the top of it to give it a little bigger shape like this, and it is going little pointed like that. So guys, I have decided our next two mandalas are based on flower of life. Okay Diksha, like I'm just kind of repeating the double line on every side, and after that I'll wait. Okay. It's looking pretty, right? I'm waiting for you guys. Please tell me when you guys are done. So the next step would be just to draw the little humps inside like this, and to make the double lines. Did you guys hear that Percy's noise? He's saying something to Ankita that take me out. Did you do big hump or 9-inch circle? So this hump, if you are talking, this big hump is at, so this is the 6 centimeter here, and this is the point which we make at 7.5, Aruna. So this here is the point at the 7.5. Still we are left with one more big petal that will touch the 9 inches. So we haven't reached to the 9 inches yet, Aruna. This is 7.5 inches and this one is the 6 inches. Thank you, no worries. I hope everyone is catching up well. Please write down in the chat if you have any questions. Awesome. So as you see, we marked at the 9 centimeters at every 10 degrees actually, but we changed these petals. So what I would like to get marks at every top of it, like if you extend this line, maybe, right? So what I'm using my ruler, and I'm getting this mark on at the top here, because we are going to draw the big petal in the center of it. Okay, so that will be our 9 centimeter mark. So I'm putting it every 9 centimeter here. We'll erase the rest of the marks, no worries, okay? Oops. because of getting the less lines, sometimes we need to put more work in the markings. And now we are going to draw our big petals. No, I'm not catching up well. I'm sorry, Mahi. Okay, Julia, take your time. So as you see, I just put marks on the 9 centimeters. So till then you guys are waiting, I'm just erasing rest of the marks, which now we don't need actually. Okay, please write down in the chat when you guys are done. Till the time I'm just confirming my all 9-inch marks at the same place. 9 centimeter marks, I mean. Perfect. So now it's the time to draw the last petals of our drawing. And for these last petals, what I would like to start with, all petals look similar, and so for that I'm drawing marks from here in every petal. Let's make that mark too, so that we don't mess up with that one too, right? Like here. So near the top, and now it's just the rounded petal, and we are going to fill this petal with the red marker pen, or maybe the red watercolor later. So one side is a little thick. In this one you can use the thick pen if you want. Still what I'm thinking, I could have taken it a little lower, but it's okay now. I have made it. Yeah, like that. Just looking nice this way. So make the double line, fill it, or you can use any thick pen. Here it is going all the way to the top. Yes, like this. So this is thick at one side and thin at one side. Can you show the final project? Wait, can you repeat that step? I'm already done with 9-inch marking. So this is the 9-inch marking, and from the top of it, if you want, you can put the mark with the ruler, so that with the compass, so that you get every single point at the top, near the top, and then just make the petal shape. That's it, at the 9-inch marking. And the one side of the 9-inch marking is little thick, so you can make double line and fill it like this, or you can use any thick pen, then it's absolutely fine. So 9 inches. This is the 9 inches. So our this version is very different from the version which you saw, that is our reference picture, but our actual project is very different. Okay, so we are done till here. Now we are going to draw one more line inside of it, the double line. I mean, for where you starting the pattern you are doing right now, the bottom of it. So you know, if you want to know the bottom of it, it is kind of the 7 centimeters line, 7 centimeters from the center here. If Julia, you are asking that. Mahi, you want to see the whole project? Is it okay now? I'm sorry, but the version which we are doing is pretty different than this, but this will also look very, very pretty. No problem, Mahi. Okay, and now here we are going to draw just the one side. Little these humps. This is the very basic building block of any traditional mandala, these humps, right? If you see any traditional mandala, this is the basic building block. Okay, now just one more line at the other side, okay guys? just to give it one more dimension. Just at one side. Okay, after this, please grab your color, your this watercolor tube, and take the color in the palette and mix it with the water. Or if you have any red color brush marker, you can go ahead and you can use the red color brush marker, and you are going to fill this whole thing. So before that, what I would like to make this outer line of this temple thing little thicker. Okay, so I'm grabbing my little thick pen for that. Where's my thick pen? There you go. So as you see, this line, the outer line, and this outer line, because we are going to fill this with the watercolor, so it would be nice if we make these lines a little thicker. It would look nice because we are going to fill this whole area with the dark red color, so these lines should be prominent kind of. So I'm just going over these lines. And just a little increasing in the weight in the line brings a whole lot different in your whole composition, you know that. So line weight is really important in these pattern drawing. That's why we keep these different kind of pens of different kind of nib size, because that make our work little easier. Awesome. Now I'm grabbing my red water brush. Can we do the after paint dried? What do you mean, Aruna? Can we do that after paint dried too? Yes. Maybe I didn't get your question, but if you have any marking inside in your petal, please get rid of that marking before you put the watercolor. That is really important, because then it would be difficult to get rid of those markings, because then they will be buried into the watercolors and then you can't get rid of them. And let me tell you, these graphite markings are really stubborn. They will pop up whatever color you put over it. Then you can't get rid of them. That's why we generally don't put all graphite markings at once in the watercolor paper. Yes, you can do bold lines later, Aruna. No worries. Once the watercolor dried, absolutely right. You can do that. Yes. Please check carefully. If you see any of the markings, please clean that. It's okay if you get rid of the little bit of the watercolor, because eventually you are going to fill this whole area with red color. As you can see, I'm using my brush marker pen. This is equivalent of the watercolor which we did in the beginning. So if you don't have brush marker pen, don't worry. Make your color in your palette and fill all the corners with your color and fill the center with little light water. Just pull your color in the center, so keep your center light, and there's a little technique of the watercolor which we are doing right now. Corners darker and the center light, like this. It will look pretty when it will dry, and then we'll give the highlight at very last with the either with the jelly roll pen or with the white acrylic paint. You can use anything, but we have to wait until it dries really well. Otherwise white color will mix and it will become like kind of the part of it. It will be no more highlights then. What are you using? I'm using this Camelin brush pen. I bought it from India long ago, and I bought this Tombow one. Like, also this is from USA. You can use any kind of brush marker pens if you have, and if you don't have brush marker pen, just use your same red color which you used for the paper, and you can use normal water brush with the water, and then you can go ahead and do that. Is also absolutely okay. This watercolor brush pen using is little quicker, so that's why I'm using it. And you can see like how watercolor brush pen works that way. And then the water brush. No, don't use Kelly Art, please. Kelly Art is not at all at the water-based colors. Kelly Art is alcohol-based ink. You cannot use water with the Kelly Art. It won't blend like the way watercolor blends. Like, if you just want to fill it with the Kelly Art, you are fine. As a like kind of the normal marker pen, you can go ahead and you can fill, no worries. But don't expect to get a look of the watercolor with the Kelly Art marker pen. That's what I mean, because they are alcohol based ink. They are not at all water based ink, and this project is all about watercolors and water based inks. So I would suggest please don't use Kelly Art marker. But if you just want to fill the hole with the Kelly Art marker, right? I'm not sure how would it look over the watercolor, but as I always say, there is like art is all about the experimenting. So if you have any rough paper and you have worked these watercolors on rough paper, if you have it, and you can try over your paper. I don't know how it will go with the Kelly Art, but my suggestion is to go watercolor, because this is the watercolor project, right? But your idea is nice. Why not to fill it with the Kelly Art? Yes. So if you end up using Kelly Art marker, please tell me when you submit your work. I would like to see how it's coming along with the Kelly Art marker. Okay. They are absolutely equivalent to using the watercolor, just quicker and the more precise in kind of the way of the filling. Otherwise you can like achieve absolutely same way with just your watercolor and the brush. Every Friday I have a class of the just brush marker. So the second brush that you are using is that just water. Yes, this is just the water barrel brush. This is just the water barrel brush. Let me show you what we made yesterday with the these brush markers. So that is the small kids class and they are learning brush marker lettering with me, and as well as this is the project which we made yesterday with the brush markers. See, and it was so easy. We just completed it into 1.5 hours. And last Thursday they made this with the brush marker. This is also with the brush marker. So with the brush markers you can make like various different kind of things. So brush marker is absolutely different than the Kelly art marker. They have very different use. They have all different ink, and this is all water based ink. So all, you know, 3D lettering and all that, so that brush marker pens are really good for those lettering if you want the effect of the water kind of effect, you know, that dark to light. But for Zendoodle and all that, like I love Kelly art markers. You have more control and no water messing, and that works well on the Bristol smooth paper. For these brush markers, they won't work very good on the Bristol smooth. They are good for the watercolor paper. Now just little bit touch-ups are left and we are kind of done. And after that, what I would like you to do, if you have yellow color, watercolor, you must have, because we did it in the center. So please get that yellow watercolor in your water palette and just fill the center with the yellow color lightly to give it a little bit, you know, spark in the center. I'm cleaning the tip of my watercolor brush. So it is just filled with water. If you press it, water comes like that here. So it's easier, like not as messy and quicker. I'm using my yellow brush marker pen and I'm going over, first I'm erasing these center. Seems like I put graphite pencil in the center. I don't know why. So I'm cleaning that up. And now I'm filling the center with this yellow brush marker pen little bit, just to give it a little bit more color of the yellow. And already it has a little bit of yellow, so you can see it's showing up a color, just to make it a little bit more, you know, depth and the bright. Okay, here you go. And now I'm making few dots in the corner here around. At one side we make these humps, at one side we are making all these dots, and we have to get rid of all those pencil lines inside of the other petals. Now I'm just buying time so that these red color seeps in very well, and then I'm going to get my white acrylic paint out and we are going to make highlights and few dots on the top. And before that, I would like to use my white jelly roll pen. If you guys have, you can use white jelly roll pen with me at some places to give highlights. If you don't have white jelly roll pen, you can use very thin brush or maybe the toothpick to get those thin lines, white lines. You can try with the acrylic paint. Yes, don't use now the watercolor, because watercolors are very translucent, transparent kind of thing. Now the white color which we want to use is supposed to be very opaque, so acrylic or the tempera paint are the good for that. So now I'm grabbing my jelly roll pen, this, and with the jelly roll pen I'm putting some white lines in between these lines, as you see here, in between these two black lines, very thin, just to give highlight here. I'm going really quick because I really want to finish it in this one, and if you guys are not catching up well, you can see this later. The second brush that you are using, just water. Yes, what are you using in the middle? In the middle, what? Can you please ask again, Lavanya? How do you refill the water in the pen? So in the water pen, it opens up like that, and it has a barrel in it, and you can fill the water and then you can just put it back. Can I use orange color paint in top or red? Red would look nice, Aruna. I'm not sure how orange will look, but you know, if your orange is very bright and vibrant, you can use that. The main thing is it is supposed to be bright and vibrant, okay? So I exactly don't know how your orange color is looking. You can skip some places also in these white lines, okay? That will look nice if you skip at some places. So this is the one highlight which we did. If you guys want, you can put your Swarovskis. If you have the small Swarovskis, you can stick them with the glue, with the glue pen, you know. So you just get a very tiny glue and it sticks pretty well over it. And I'm putting one dot in the center of these dots over the yellow. They won't shine up that well because they are over the yellow, but they will add the dimension. Can you guys hear the ring? My phone is on silent. It's not my ring. Okay. And ta-da! Now it's the time to draw the dots. So I don't think we can get. Let's see if it is drawing well, and if no. So I'm getting my white acrylic. Oops, black screen. Can you please reset quickly? So here I am, guys. and I'm getting white paint in my palette, just a little white paint in my palette, this much, and I'm getting my this 0 size, not 0, I want the 3 number, so I'm using this little big. You can use any, if you have any paintbrush, you can use the back of the paintbrush or the tip of the paintbrush, or anything which gives you kind of like this size of dot, which I'm making, as you can see right now, in the center of this here. So we can, I didn't erase the pencils yet inside, I'm sorry. Please get rid of the pencil marks before we start working inside these petals, and keep your hand a little easy, don't put too hard. Okay, so if you have any transfer punch set, so you can use the number 3, and if you have the tool set like the crochet hook or just the normal tool set, so you can use number 1. Number 1 is the smallest one, and if you have made your reference chart, which we talked yesterday, so then you can see which dot is similar to this size, and you can go ahead and use that thing. If you have tried anything from your home, then it's great. Whatever gives you this size of the circle, you can go ahead and use it. Just dip very slight in the color. We can achieve this with our jelly roll pen, but not that beautiful circle and that opaque. So that's why with the watercolor, this kind of thing, it's great if we use either the tempera paint, or the acrylic paint, but don't use watercolor for these opaque dots. You will not get that finishing. And now I'm increasing the size little 1 point than that. So this is the number 3 which I'm using. Now I'm grabbing number 5, and that will be just the top dots for these. You can experiment more. You can use other red color, you can make more dots if you want, and with the yellow colors you can make dots. So this is just experiment, but I just want to use white as an highlight so that other dots won't overpower these highlighted dots. Just touch the color, don't take too much color, don't dip all the way, and when you are done, just clean it with your damp cloth or the tissue paper, and ta-da, we are done. And as you can see, is my screen blurry? Oh no, we are not done. We are left with one more highlights in our red petals, and for the highlights we have to use the brush. I'm using this normal brush, normal thin round brush, dipping into the color, rounding it like that so that we get a nice little shape. And then where you see where this thick line is, so near that we are just making this little, pulling the color like that from top to bottom, and this will be our beautiful highlights in these petals. There you go. Perfect. And we are doing little two highlights in the center, one at this side and one at this side. Now we are done. Yay! So we are done with our this beautiful pattern. I hope you guys enjoyed working with me. I loved making these kind of patterns, and as I told you, our next pattern I haven't showed you, but that would be our flower of life mandala. I can show you next mandala which we are going to draw, because our next mandala would be just with the black pen and like these kind of, like the way we made these one, but with the flower of life pattern. And after that, the next mandala would be again flower of life, but then that would be with little pearl scent watercolor. As you can see, little sheen in this one. Let me bring it a little bit more up, and I'm removing it because the paint is still wet, so I don't just want to mess up with this. So this is the watercolor. This will be the flower of life mandala, and for this mandala I have used a little, you know, a metallic kind of, not exactly metallic, but pearl scent watercolors. This is the color which I used here in this mandala. This is the artist loft color, pearl scent. But if you don't have any like pearl finish watercolor, we can use the normal watercolor, whatever you have. Or if you don't have the like any these kind of watercolors, you can use acrylic colors and thin that down with lot of water. So any color would work. Plus I have used marker pens, the thin marker pens of the Staedtler brand. They work really very well on this. So if you want to see how they look, so they are kind of these ones over this. So this is, I'm talking next to next mandala. Okay, this is not our next mandala, this is next to next, but this is again the flower of life, and the next mandala is the flower of life but just with the black pen. So these are our two next mandalas in a row. But I'm telling you the stuff for this because for the next mandala is just our Bristol smooth finish paper and our black marker pen. But this one needs two different supplies. One is the Staedtler marker pen and second is the pearl scent watercolors. So if you want the exact finish, you can get these two supplies if you don't have. And these supplies are always good to have because they go long way. And these Staedtler brands, I should tell that like if you leave their cap open overnight, even the next day it works fine. That is the wonderful pen, wonderful marker pen. I have never seen any marker pen which works so beautiful and not dries so quick. That is the main thing. Can you put the link in the material list? So Sabita, link of this is already there in the material list, I think. And I will put the link of the pearl scent color. That is the artist loft brand. I'll put the link, no worries. I thought it was covered on Saturdays. What do you mean, Lavanya? Yes, dotted acrylic is just a separate session. Here we just make few accent dots. That's it. Dotted acrylic session is separate, and that is not on the Saturdays, that's on Fridays. And yesterday we started this one. We practiced dot this thing, we made the reference sheet, we learned about our dotting tools, and then we started making a little bit of this dotting pattern last session, like the first session of the dots. And we will make something like that. That will be our first project of the dotting tool, and the second would be something like the peacock style, something like that. So these are our two dotting tools, and we are going to do these two patterns in every Friday. Okay, and every Saturday is our drawing mandala, and I told you about next two mandalas. Both will be flower of life. One will be with the black pen, and the next will be with the watercolor pearl scent style. No problem, Lavanya. Any other questions, guys? I hope everybody enjoyed today's session. Don't forget to submit your work. I would love to see all of yours. This mandala, how it is coming along. I hope you enjoyed working with me. I thoroughly enjoyed working this mandala, and I'm so excited for next two mandalas, the flower of life mandalas. Let's see how it goes. Okay guys, time to say goodbye. See you guys tomorrow in Zen Doodle session. And Zen Doodle session is open for all. You can bring your friends and you can share the link to your family members or whoever is interested in pattern drawing and enjoy doing that. Bye. See you tomorrow.